All right, part 4, becoming unstoppable. What's your identity? We're going to talk about grit, long-term success. I want to really dive into this last part. I want to tie sections 1, 2, and 3 together in this 4-part series to become unstoppable.
Connecting the dots, connecting his guests to the world, creating more connections. Welcome to The Connection. Meet your host, author, coach, Air Force veteran, Jay Miralles.
Goals change your actions. Identity changes your life, right? When you have a goal, not just a wish or a thought, but you tend to move in that direction. Your identity, who you are, the things that you are habitual about, ritualistic about, those things change your life. I mean, Jay rucks 3 times a week on minimum, right? Sometimes 4 and sometimes 5. But that's my identity. And again, as I was joking, like, oh man, brushing my teeth, that is my identity. Right? Like, I hope that's my identity. My hair, that's my identity. I love to fix my hair, right? That's goals change your actions. Identity changes your life. Now, here's something important too. You can't outwork a broken self-belief. If you don't believe, don't even start. You got to borrow somebody's belief. I mean, I'm not saying that you have to be so sure that you want to do it, but if you keep talking yourself out of it, if you think, oh, I'm just going to lose again, you will lose. Oh, I'm not good enough. Guess what? You're not. I don't need to do that. You're right. You don't. I don't need to live that way. Okay, you don't. But if you say there's something out there for me, I want to put the work in and I'm willing to do what it takes, even if the pain hurts. Even if I've got to work the long hours, even if I have to learn a new skill, even if I have to spend this much money, even if I have to sacrifice this, even if I have to eliminate this, like those beliefs can't be shook. But you cannot outwork a broken self-belief. You can't say like, oh, I guess I'll try. Oh, try is such a word. When people say that to me, it cringes. Like, I'll try. No, you either do or don't. Just like Yoda said, do or do not. There is no try. I almost did my Yoda voice. Success is rented, right? I mean, success has a maintenance plan that you have to pay into all the time. You have to give into success rhythmically, right? You can't just be like, oh, I had success and I can stop now. Now, there's levels of frequency and levels of process that you need to stay successful, but success is rented and the rent is due every damn day. You've heard it before. I'm not telling you anything new, but before you go to the next level, you yourself must become the next level. Let me share this with you why. People get to the next level and they're like, oh man, I don't even belong here. Guess what? You don't. People get to the next level and they're like, oh my gosh, how did I get here? It's because themselves. Success can be temporary when it's a flash in the pan. You hear that people say, man, that was a flash in the pan because they took a shortcut. They shorted somebody. They took a shortcut. They didn't put in the real work, or they bought themselves into it, just like a friend of mine. We talk about this is, I went the keto route and he went the surgery route. And this was probably about a good 8 years ago. And I I complimented him when he first lost all the weight. And he said to me, he goes, man, he goes, I feel different. I was like, yeah, you look different. You look great, man. He's like, well, I cheated. I didn't want to tell me he cheated because he didn't cheat. But then he told me something. He goes, what you did, Jay, was sweat equity. What I did was check equity. Hey, we both got there. But fast forward 8 years later, um, he snapped back and he had health complications. And I'm not saying that this is typical of everyone, but you have to be ready to get to the next level. Okay. Um, I know there's bodybuilders out there and they want to take the shortcuts. They want to do the steroids. And guess what? immediately they're outperforming everyone around them. You're like, man, this person getting stronger, bigger, man. What the heck? There are prices to shortcuts. So before you get to the next level, you must become the next level. You've got to do it right. I'm not saying steroids is I'm not chastising anybody. I mean, I have my own opinions on it, but I'm saying that if you take shortcuts and you get there, it could be a house of cards and it just all fall from under you. So I want to talk about this identity first, goal second. What's your identity? What's your identity? People say, well, what do you mean by that, Jay? If you still think like the old you will recreate like the old you. You can't think like, oh, well, back in 2010, this is what I did. Like, you can't think like that. And belief is the foundation that the future is built on. What do you believe? What's your identity? What do you believe deep down in here? Here's how I believe. I'm not talking to you like I'm lecturing, but here's how I lecture me. I want to be around for my children's weddings. I want to experience my grandchildren. I want to be in the best shape that I can be. I want to be 178 pounds lean. I want to be chiseled, right? To where I can take a shirt off if I swim in a pool. I want to not huff and puff if I've got to walk. I want to be able to be not just lift, but I want to be able to function so I can defend my family. I believe that. I believe that I want to be so strong that if anyone comes into the picture and tries to harm my family, I will fight or die. That's my belief. And that's my identity. People know me. They know that I'm not going to back down just because someone's scary. Like I'd rather get beat down than be a coward. That's just me. I'd rather take a risk fighting for my family than stories later where they're like, oh man, did you know that Jay left his family behind in that crisis? Did you know he ran away? Nah, it's not my identity. Okay. Your identity is also a thermostat of your achievement. Like wh- if your thermostat is here and your identity, you know, is your thermostat, when will you tolerate, more or less? Your identity is the thermostat of your achievement. It's like it's primarily the way you set your tone. Okay. It's not like, well, I guess I'm around these people. I'm going to lower my standards. I'm around these people. I'm not going to do that. Or I'm going to be less than. Or yeah, I'm just going to be different. No, your identity should stay the same. Can you adapt to situations? Can you be better? Sure. Who are you becoming? Who who are you becoming? Who are you, you know, who who is the future you? You can answer those questions. What habits reflect that? What habits reflect on who you are becoming? What are the things that you're doing? What are the habits that you're doing? Oh gosh, I drink a bottle of water a day now, or a whole flask of water a day now, 128 ounces. That's what I do every day. I wish I did. That's what I need to work on, right? What other habits? Are you writing things down? Are you calendaring better? Are you sleeping better? Like, what habits do you need to reflect to the person who you're becoming? And then what boundaries do you need to set? What are some of the things you need to say no to, not include? Who are some of the people you need to isolate or insulate yourself from? What are some of the rooms that you never need to enter again? Some of the what are some of the tables that you don't need to beg for a seat at? What are some of the tables that you get invited to that you should tell them no? Right? What boundaries do you have? Are you always saying yes to everything because you want to be Nebraska nice? That's what we call it in Nebraska. Nebraska nice. Oh, yes, I'll help you move. Oh, yes, I'll give you an hour and a half of my time. Oh, yes, I'll help you. Oh, yes, I'll have coffee with you. Oh, yes, I'll have a meeting with no agenda. Oh, yes, I'd like to just pick your brain. Like, no, let's have some purpose, boundaries. Like I want people to say, "Hey, Jay, would you like to get together, Wednesday, 11 o'clock?" I want to know why. I mean, is that fair? I know it is. When I ask for somebody's time, I say, "Hey, does 11 o'clock work for you? I'd like to meet about this, this, and this." I don't want to be all mysterious and then find out, hey, this was all just for a pick your brain session. I'm all about sharing knowledge. I'm all about imparting, impact or giving or sharing time with people. I'm all about learning too. And if I don't know what I'm stepping into, chances are that it's not going to be high priority for me. I want to talk about grit and resilience. I don't want to talk about hustling, right? I don't want to talk about hustling. I think I used to hustle and grind, and I, I just think different of those words. You don't need to punish yourself. And the word hustle itself, like, what does it mean to hustle? Okay, yeah, hustle, go faster, work harder, all those. But really, at the end of the day, the two words I like to think about are grit and resilience. Grit and resilience. Discipline is doing what's required long after the mood has left, long after your goals started, long after your journal entry, long after all the things that you're doing and how you feel is discipline, right? I mean, when you walk 50 miles, promise you, halfway through, you're like, why am I doing this? It's your discipline that keeps getting you going. It's your mindset. It's doing what's required. Oh my gosh. Felt like doing 50 miles 25 miles ago, but now I guess I got to do the next 25. Well, you do it because you're disciplined. And strength also is not built by comfort, it's built by conflict. Case in point, I'm not a doctor, but I hear Dr. Jamie Seaman say this all the time, Dr. Fit and Fabulous, and Dr. Gabrielle Lyon. They talk about resistance training. If you don't tell this that you need it, if you don't tell, and for those of you who are listening on the podcast, I'm tapping on my arm. If you don't resist or push any conflict or any counterweight to the resistance training, your arm won't know that you need it and it will shrink, atrophy, right? But if you put pressure on your arms and your chest, guess what? They will grow. Strength isn't built by comfort, it's built by conflict, it's built by pressure. And here's the other part. You can't build grit scrolling through Instagram. I don't care how many motivational things you see. I don't care how many times those memes go, right? 50 miles and people to do it with is symbolic of life. And I don't want to focus just on the 50-mile march right now. I want to focus on the things that got me to there. The 1 mile, the 2 miles. I remember moving into this house, this very house, and I walked down to the lake our first day because we were so excited. And I walked downhill and I told my wife, I don't think I can make it around the lake. I was huffing and puffing at 240 plus pounds, huffing and puffing. And I remember that day, the day we moved in. It still shakes me now that I wasn't even in enough shape to walk around that lake. And that's only like 1.8 miles. 5 miles, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That's crazy. Um, Chapter 3, page 47 in my book right here, and let's go. Difficult doesn't mean impossible. It means proving ground. It means if you are going to do something hard or something that requires pressure or resistance and you get through it, you've proven your ground. It's it's a gauntlet. It's something to get through. So when the harder choices in life show up, you'll be ready for them. I mean, adversity is the training ground. Failure is part of the training ground. Learning the lessons is eliminating failure. When people say, oh, I don't want to fail, I don't want to make a mistake. I would rather you make a mistake or make a failure in motion and then learn from it. Because when you learn from it, it's not a failure, it's a teaching lesson. And guess what? The things that we fail at or the things that we learn that make mistakes on, those are the best lessons. Case in point, you know not to touch a hot stove. This is so elementary. But you know that if you touch a hot stove, you're going to burn your hand. That's instinctual, right? You've learned that. Well, if you ruck 3 times a week and your wife says, damn, your calves got big, that didn't happen because I just started. That happened because I've made a point of working out for the past 5, 6 years, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, rain, sleet, or snow, right? So again, difficult doesn't mean impossible. It just means like it's a proving ground. How to stay consistent all year. That's the key. How do you keep it going? How do you tell a good story at the end? Well, there's a few strategies. Quarterly. I know that when you made your plans or your goals for last year, you never visited them. You had them taped up to your mirror for like 3 weeks and then someone took them down. You don't have a check-in system, right? So quarterly resets. That means January, February, March, analyze your quarter and then start your next quarter. Then start your next quarter. Brian Moran wrote a book called The 12-Week Year. He's the one that endorsed my book on the back here. So if you ever see the 12-Week Year written by Brian Moran, it's a great book. It breaks down a year into 12 weeks and execution is like the theme of the 12-week year. You got to read it. But quarterly resets is key. Weekly reviews. You got to maybe share your week with someone to say, hey, here's what I did. Maybe with your coach, you know, when you say, hey, here's what I did this week. Here's why I think things worked. Here's why it didn't work. But the challenge is to have that person challenge you and to think better and to be better and to identify things that you thought were mistakes, but they were just growing pains, right? There's a difference between a mistake and a growing pain. I think a mistake and a growing pain are the way you look at it. And it's okay because when you grow, there's going to be conflict. And in conflict, there's pain, right? Your accountability squad, again, your coach, the people you hang out with, you got to stay consistent. You got to have people you're accountable to. It's not that you're having to answer to people. You get to answer to people, right? Milestones and rewards, you got to celebrate them. If you don't have any milestones or rewards defined and you just make it up, you might as well not even have a plan. Because rewards and milestones are things that when you achieve, they're measurable, and when you get rewarded, it really sticks. Your brain is wired that way. When you give the brain what it wants and what it craves, it tends to look for what process or what made that happen. Um, Re-identify why monthly, right? Every month, like, why am I doing this? Maybe it's a Facebook Live or it's an Instagram Live or it's a journey. Because if you tell people, hey, I'm going to do this, chances are you don't want to lose credibility. You don't want to lose any kind of faith in you. You don't want to let people down. If you tell yourself you're going to the gym, cool. If you tell 2 people you're going to the gym, cool too. But if you tell 2 people who join you at the gym consistently, that's accountability. Reducing decision fatigue. You just have to decide, get it all done. Stop thinking, stop making up new goals, stop making new decisions. Just stay with the decisions that you've made and execute, 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 right? Reevaluate your environment. Am I in the right place to grow? Am I in the place that I need to be to grow, to execute right now? And health. We talked about health as your anchor. If you're not healthy, mind, body, and spirit, you're not going to get to the next level. Heck, you'd be happy to get through the day. You'd be lucky to have a survival mindset. But when you're not feeling good, your mind starts playing tricks on you and your mood goes down. You get fatigued easily and you're not as sharp. And the self talk and that inner voice just takes over. The health has to be your anchor. If you did nothing else and just improve your health, I think your next year would go better. That's just one component, though. Consistency is easier when you stop negotiating with yourself. Stop negotiating, right? Just what is it that I'm going to do? And oh, well, if I do this, then I go. If I have these three things, then I don't need to do that. Well, if I ruck on Tuesday, I don't need to go Monday. No, stop negotiating with yourself. That's what happens. You rationalize, you negotiate, and that's what's gotten you here right now. Well, at least I did this, and I mean, you should hear yourself. But when other people do it, we're like, oh, it's okay, or we criticize or whatever. But when you do it, you're like, all right, not a big deal. I don't know how you think about it, but whatever it is, it's gotten me to right here. And your goals don't need motivation. You don't need to be all hyped up and jacked up on music, right? Although you need to change the state of your mind, your goals need maintenance. They need small adjustments. They need paying attention to. They need measurement. They need like, okay, let's see this goal, right? Let's check in on it, right? I promise you, if somebody just called you every day and said, hey, don't forget, you're going to fast today for 16 hours and you're not going to eat, but for only 8 of them, you'd do better. If a camera could follow you around, you'd do better. Okay. Identity makes discipline effortless. Who are you as a person? If it's your identity, and that's who you are, if you ruck consistently, if you brush your teeth consistently, if you go to the gym consistently, if you make calls more consistently, if you knock on more doors consistently, if you follow up more consistently, then your discipline will be effortless. Problem is it's not. You got to rely on systems, right? Here's a checklist, the Unstoppable You checklist. The Unstoppable You checklist. Do I have a clear identity? So outside of the goals. Who am I? What is my identity to other people? What is my identity to myself? What are the things that Jay always does this? Okay. Part of me is I'm full of humor. I love to be the class clown. I love to be a court jester. That's who I love to be. I love to make people laugh. That's my identity, but I also love to lift them up. I love to create a message that lifts other people up. I want to be positive and motivational. I want to lift other. That's my identity. Clear standards. What standards do you have for yourself that you will keep no matter what? The Unstoppable You. This is the checklist, right? We're going to talk about clear identity, clear standards, clear environment, battle tested discipline, reinforced belief in daily wins. This is outside of your goals. I want to talk about the Unstoppable You checklist. There's 8 things I want to talk about. 8. Number 1 is a clear identity. Who are you? Who are you to yourself? Who are you to other people? Jay, always this. That's your identity. 2, clear standards. What are the things that you're going to hold yourself to the standard of when no one's looking? What are you going to do when you're tired? What are you going to do when your mind is weak? There's a standard that you have, right? What are your standards? Number 3, a clear environment. Where do you operate in? Where do you function in? What people are you around? What beliefs are you sharing? Where are you spending your time? What group or affiliations or associations make up your environment? Number 4, your battle-tested discipline. What will you not back down from? What will you do at all cost? What will you do at all cost? What will you do when people are depending on you? What will you do when no one is looking? What will you do when there's no reward? That's your battle-tested discipline. Number 5 is your reinforced belief. Reinforced belief are all the things that you acquired on your own to believe in. Some of your thoughts and your beliefs need to change. Your self-limiting beliefs, the things that you are holding yourself back with, because at the end of the day, if you don't believe it, you're not going to achieve it. And if you believe that you're going to fail, guess what? You probably will. If you believe that you're scared to not start, you probably won't start. You've got to have a belief that you can before you do, and you will. 6, daily wins. I can't explain to you how not taking an inventory of daily wins at the end of the day, you're missing out on something. I can't explain how important that is. What did you win today? If you win today, just one thing, that's 30 wins in 30 days. For some people, it's getting out of bed at a certain time. Did you win? Okay, you won. If you hold yourself to that standard, that daily win, I'm going to get out of bed at this time, and this is what I'm going to do. You won. When you win the first thing of the day, start that routine, get that daily win out of the way right away. And what other things do you have throughout the day that you can win at, And then be truthful with yourself. 7 months, every 3 months, quarterly course corrections. You must correct, measure, and look at it every quarter. Because 3 months goes by and you don't calibrate, you don't reset, guess what? You're going to be the same as you were quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3. It's not going to change. Going through a quarterly course correction means I should be here. I'm not here. I was going to do 4. I'm only at 3. What is it that I can do in this next 90 days that I didn't do in the last 90? What did I lie to myself about? And then your reward cycles. You got to build the reward cycles in. You got to have that, right? I don't care if it's weekly, monthly, quarterly, whatever it is for you, but don't make it too long. Don't wait a whole year to reward yourself. Reward yourself along the way. So here's something. If I ruck 750 miles this year, I'm going to do this for myself. That seems so far away. But if I ruck Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 3 months in a row, I'm going to reward myself with this at the end of the quarter. Or for some of you, if I ruck Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 2 weeks in a row, you get this patch called the 5 a.m. Ruck Club. For some reason, people do crazy stuff for a patch, and it's only 2 weeks, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you earn a patch. Many people have traveled miles and miles and miles just to earn that patch, okay? Now, your habit builds the house, your identity holds the deed. That's a real estate talk, right? Your habit builds the house, your identity holds the deed. Isn't that crazy? Who owns that house? Who is the house? Why do they have the house? Your identity is on the deed of that house. Success is not one big decision. It's 10,000 small commitments, executions you have with your future. Right? If you look at anything that you've ever achieved, it's not one thing. It's not like, gosh, wow, they really achieved that overnight. Never, never. Now, gambling, you put down $80,000 on black on the roulette thing. Could you get rewarded $80,000? One for one? Yes. You can also lose that $80,000. So there are dangers and shortcuts. Can you cheat the system? Sure, but it will eventually rear its head. This is the year you stop dipping your toe in the water. And this is the year you start taking the first step. This is the first year that you're going to stop flirting with potential. Oh, I hope, I pray this will be amazing. No, commit to it. And the version of you that's coming in 2026 needs a warrior. Okay. Let me say that one more time. The version of you that's coming in 2026 needs a warrior, not a worrier. Somebody who worries. Warrior, not a worrier. All right. I hope you can hear that. I'll say it one more time. You need to stop worrying and you need to be a warrior. At the end of this 4-part series, I hope you gain some insight and maybe a little different mindset on how achieving your goal isn't hard, it's process oriented, it's pressure, it's systems oriented. You need to do the things in this 4 sections and this 4 episodes that I talked about. And if you just did 2 or 3 things for next year as your goal, your life would change. You don't need a miracle. You just need a few minutes. You need a weekend to plan all this. And you need to start today. You need to set time with yourself. You need to block your calendar. This needs to be an appointment with yourself, with your partner, and talk about things that you want now. But it's not just the things you want now, is what will you do now so you get the things that you need in the future. With that being said, my friends, this was all centered around my book. Yes, I do believe in the things that I've written down. I believe in the things that I've put out to the world, but mostly I believe in the words that come out of my mouth. And I am far from perfect. But when I do get stuck and when I do get fearful and I do get in a rut, sometimes I whisper to myself, let's go. That's all you have to do. Let's go. It's the one phrase that can change your life, and I hope this 4-part series changes yours. Subscribe, like, and share with a friend who you really care about. Until then, thanks for listening to The Connection.
It's been a fantastic journey exploring stories, insights, and inspirations that bridge our lives. Remember, every connection has the power to transform. Please subscribe, rate, and review. Your feedback keeps us going. In this connected world, let's make meaningful connections that enrich lives. Now, signing off until next time. The Connection. Keep connecting and let's go.